My name is Nev, and my surname is Joe. I come from Zimbabwe. I'm born to a family with 5 kids, but I wouldn't say a kid. But I'm the last born, and we've got 5 brothers. So it's quite a huge family, and this is how Africa is set up, where you have several people around you, cousins, grandmothers and grandpas in a big homestead. I was born in the countryside, and I did my first primary school in the lowest ever ranked primary schools, and I wouldn't think that I'll get to an extent of being a PhD student in life, but it happens. And I always had these notions that whenever you have persistence, and you'll probably be able to do whatever you want in life. When I came during the interview in March, it was quite cold, very much cold. I didn't think that I would manage the situation, because where we come from, the temperatures are always a bit between 20 to 28. It has never been below that. If it does, then it's a disaster. It has always been motivational to work with different organisms. As a biologist, we start from the beginning, where how life started, and this is what is happening now. I'm still looking at how life is. We are working with yeast and bacteria, as you know. We are trying to stress this yeast to produce ethanol. Anyway, this is a strategy to find out what really happened for yeast to be what they are in real life. So we are trying to replay these evolutionary trajectories, and would want to find out what really happened in the beginning, because we know that genes and genomes respond to an environmental pressure, and this is our strategy. We want to try and spike this yeast with bacteria, as we know that bacteria are competitors of yeast. One would expect to see that yeast fight back in a strategy, or maybe bacteria also fight back. So this is quite a serendipitous study. We don't know what is going to come up. Probably we might end up with different strategies that we haven't learned of. Yes, I can greet in Swedish. Yes, hey, that's what we always see and say in public, and Edo, and when the person says to go, goodbye. Surely, with the language, I discovered that it's not as easy as I managed to learn English in the beginning, because all programs are done in English in Zimbabwe, and it's the medium of communication and it's a national language. So I thought as much that it would be easier for me to do Swedish, but yes, I did, but it's a bit tough. There are several other vowels and consonants that I've never seen before, and it's quite amazing. I really don't know where I'm going to end up in, and this is what really brought me here, because I didn't even know that I was going to do my PhD in the first place. And moving from one continent to the next seems to be the order of life these days, and as long as I'm going to acquire skills that are going to allow me to be sociable and marketable in a society of science, and I wouldn't mind moving to any part of the world. I can always stay here if it works well, but if it doesn't, then I have to move from one way to the next.